Yesterday, President Trump nominated Brett Kavanaugh for the Supreme Court as an Associate Justice. And a lot of people who are members of the Democratic Party have been saying they don't like him. Republicans are saying they like him, yada, yada, yada. Um, there are a couple of things to take away from his pick in particular, which is that during the ceremony, he made the claim that no president before Trump had worked so hard to pick a nominee. Um, and I thought it was really funny how, with a lot of these current heads of state, and this includes governors and senators, when they go and they make these public appearances, they surround themselves with a bunch of yes men who will effectively clap at anything they say or do. Um, and we know that's the case because when you go back to Trump's rallies, you had people who would boo at the mention of certain names or concepts. But here you had a person who made a claim that there is no way of proving, unless he has some hidden record of how hard other presidents work to pick their Supreme Court justices as nominees. So it was just this little nonsensical comment that was made to um, make Trump look better, and it worked. So I guess that's a point for him. But a lot of people have also been focusing on Roe versus Wade. Realistic chance that the more conservative judges that go on there, they could find themselves, messing with that. But what I think is really interesting is that so often we have these when Kavanaugh goes before the Senate, you're going to hear him make these comments about how we need to uphold the law. He won't do this, that, and the other. And what you need to do when you watch that is watch it and then watch just any judge in the last 20 or 30 years that's been nominated in their confirmation hearings. And the only difference you'll hear in their rhetoric will maybe be the pronunciation of some words, because verbatim his message during his confirmation hearing is going to be the exact same as every single other judge about, oh, I'm not trying to be partisan or do things that are part of my ideology, in spite of the fact that he to a T voted for any pro-business decision or in favor of that businesses in each decision they were involved with. So I have high doubts that he'll be this spectrum of change. But what I think is funny is that by the time we actually can verify whether or not I was correct, whether or not he was telling the truth, it's too late because you're already stuck with him for 20 or 30 years. We're talking about a guy who's not even in his mid-50s. And given the updates to medicine, this could be a decades-long disaster, just as Gorsuch is gearing up to be. So I don't see much good coming out of this. I'm leaning toward him getting confirmed just because the Democrats that are in a lot of those red states are going to find themselves. And this is what people have to understand when it comes to these nominees. There's always this media speculation about will this pass, will this not pass. But you're going to notice more often than not when these politicians, whenever there's a nominee made by Trump and a chamber has to vote on it, they stage it to where the person just barely gets through to make you think there was an actual fight. Look at the CIA director nominee. It was the same situation. I think it's going to be the same thing with the Senate for this nominee. It'll be 51 to 49, 52 to 48, but he'll get through. So I don't like the pick, but I see it happening, and I see us suffering for decades.